Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into a really interesting case study.
Yeah. What have we got?
It's about a bioenergy company and how they basically transformed their maintenance using tech.
Okay. Maintenance transformation. Always a good topic.
Exactly. We've got their success story document here. The plan is to unpack how they manage such, well, pretty drastic improvements in their operations and also cut costs significantly.
Okay. Sounds good. So where were they starting from? What was the situation?
Well, that's a key part. Back in 2017, the company was growing really fast.
Which is usually good news, but
But yeah, their operations were still, let's say, finding their feet. They were facing a lot of equipment breakdowns, high failure rates.
right. So reactive maintenance, fixing things after they break.
Pretty much. The report uses the phrase corrective maintenance culture, basically lots of putting out fires.
Been there. So rapid growth, but the processes hadn't quite caught up yet.
Exactly. They knew they needed to evolve, become more efficient, and get ahead of all these breakdowns.
Okay. So that's the challenge. This reactive loop leading to failures and kind of developing organizational maturity, I suppose, hindering efficiency.
Precisely. So they knew they had a problem. What did they do about it? The story points to a partnership. Sigga, I think.
Yes, Sigga. That seems to be the turning point. They brought in a modern asset management system. Importantly, one that integrated with their existing SAP setup.
Integration is always key. And cloud supported, it says here.
Right. And a specific tool they mention is Sigga's Empower. Now, this sounds interesting. Think of it as like a way to make quick tweaks and updates to the system for the guys in the field.
Oh, okay. So not massive coding projects every time they need a change.
Exactly. More agile. They could adapt faster based on what the technicians actually needed day to day. That's huge for user adoption.
Makes sense. Easier changes mean people are more likely to use it properly. But it wasn't just the tech, right? You mentioned processes earlier.
Absolutely not just the tech. They really worked on their planning and work preparation side, getting proactive.
So less waiting for things to break.
Yes. Planning maintenance, figuring out the best way to use resources, people, parts, and trying to minimize equipment downtime before it happens.
Okay. And the port stresses something else too. Leadership.
Crucial point.
Yeah.
Strong leadership backing and getting the actual technical teams involved from the start.
Yeah.
It wasn't just IT dropping in new software.
Right. It was tech plus people plus process, a cultural shift almost.
That's exactly what they call it, a cultural shift driven by that combination.
Okay, let's get to the juicy part, the results. Because these numbers, wow, operational availability jumps from 95.7%.
Which isn't terrible.
All the way up to 99.98%.
Yeah.
That's massive. And quickly, it seems.
It really is. Almost perfect uptime.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what that does for the bottom line.
Well, the report confirms it. Significant cost reductions, both admin and operational maintenance costs went down.
Yeah, because you're cutting out rework. You're not scrambling for parts last minute. Things are digitized. It all adds up. Less wasted effort.
And better data, too. That's mentioned. More reliability.
Critical.
Yeah.
Good data means smarter decisions. You actually know what's happening with your assets. Maintenance stops being just a cost center.
It becomes strategic.
Exactly. They could optimize everything.
Yeah.
Better labor, materials, the technical planning itself. Maintenance became part of the strategy, not just fixing leaky pipes.
So wrapping this up, what's the big lesson here for listeners if you're running operations somewhere?
I think the key takeaway is that maintenance can be a value generator. It's not just unavoidable expense.
But it takes effort.
Oh, yeah. You need the right tools, the cutting-edge tech, sure.
Yeah.
But just as importantly, you need those well-defined processes we talked about.
And the people aspect again.
Absolutely. Engagement from the top, engagement from the teams on the ground, everyone pulling in the same direction. Structured data use and automating the admin burden were apparently really crucial for them.
Okay, so quick recap. This bioenergy company went from reactive firefighting to strategic asset management. They used tech, yes, but combined it with process improvement and getting everyone on board.
And the results speak for themselves. That availability jump, the cost savings,
Yeah.
it's impressive.
It really shows how changing your approach, your mindset, plus getting the right tools can make a huge difference, even in areas you might think of as just, support functions.
Definitely. It makes you think, doesn't it? What's that seemingly operational headache in your own context, your own organization, that might actually be hiding a strategic opportunity? If you just tackled it differently, maybe with some new thinking and the right technology, where could you turn a cost into a real advantage? Something to ponder.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us for this deep dive.
We appreciate you listening. We'll see you next time.